The universe was no longer a chessboard, it was a sandbox, and the two greatest powers in existence were finally realizing they were just the toddlers left inside it. In the center of the great void, a place where time, light, and gravity went to die, Pia sat on a throne made of collapsed stars. He didn't look like a burning bush or a many-eyed angel. He looked like the definitive end of a sentence. To his left, the morning star, Lucifer, stood with his wings tattered and his pride leaking out like oil. To his right, Jesus stood in robes of blinding white, his hands scarred and his gaze lowered. They were the Alpha and the Omega of human history, the architects of soul and sin. But to Pia, they were just noise. The silent audience. You argue over the dirt. Pia's voice didn't travel through the air. It vibrated through their very atoms. You fight for the loyalty of dust mites on a speck of rock called Earth. Lucifer tried to find his voice, the silver tongue that had sparked a rebellion in the heavens. We represent the balance, Pia, the choice. Without us, Pia didn't even turn his head. He simply flicked a finger. The space around Lucifer's throat tightened, not with cord or hand, but with the fundamental laws of physics. The king of hell gasped, his celestial fire flickering out like a cheap candle. Choice is a luxury I allow you to imagine, Pia said softly. You, Lucifer, are a spark I haven't bothered to blow out. And you, he glanced toward the Messiah, are a melody I haven't grown tired of hearing yet. The sandbox. Pia leaned forward, and the sheer weight of his divinity caused the fabric of reality to groan. He reached out and plucked a galaxy from the air as if it were a stray hair on a sleeve. I watched you both in the beginning, Pia mused, turning the galaxy over in his palm. I watched you build your little kingdoms of clouds and brimstone. You played with your clay figures and told them stories of forever. It was cute, like children building castles in the mud while the tide is coming in. Jesus looked up, his voice a whisper of ancient grace. Is there no room for mercy in the absolute? Pia laughed, and the sound created 3 new nebulas in a distant dimension. Mercy is a human word, little savior. I am the God of the God you think you know. I am the silence that existed before the first word, and I am the cold that will remain after the last sun. To me, your great war is just 2 boys fighting over a toy in the dirt. The decree of the absolute Pia stood up, and the throne of stars dissolved into pure energy. He towered over the 2 icons, his presence so massive that the concepts of heaven and hell felt like cramped, dusty rooms. The silence. He waved a hand, and the prayers of billions fell silent. The dark. He blinked, and the fires of the pit turned to ice. The reality. He smiled, and the laws of life and death rewrote themselves to suit his whim. Go back to your little games, Pia commanded, his voice echoing into the marrow of their beings. Continue your play. Pretend your struggle matters. But never forget who owns the sandbox. With a sudden, violent burst of silence, they were gone, tossed back into their respective realms like discarded dolls. Pia remained in the void, alone and unchallenged, the only true God in a universe that was finally, terrifyingly, quiet.